Well, hi Aries, welcome to Universal Guidance Tarot. It's time for your weekly reading. I've shuffled these cards very well. I'm going to shuffle them just a few more times. This is a two-part reading. The overall energy of this reading will be in the middle of the first part of the reading. So, Aries, let's find out, what can you expect coming up in your life? For Aries universe, Aries, interesting here. For Aries, wow. Okay, so Aries, the overall energy of your reading is the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is about picking up swords of truth and clarity. Yet, looking back at somebody, I think there's someone that you have not taken your mind off of, that it's like the one that got away. And you haven't picked up all the swords of truth and clarity. You have three of them. And I just feel like that you're looking back at them. You never forgot about them. You know part of what went down, but not everything. And that is your overall energy. So let's find out why that Five of Swords is surrounding your entire reading. Up in your highest energy is the Four of Pentacles. You haven't been able to shake this person, whoever this is, who is no longer in your life. You haven't been able, you haven't forgotten them. You've been stuck in this. These pentacles are heavy. They weigh you down. I think you were hoping for a secure and stable relationship with them, and I don't know what happened, why they're not around you anymore, but you have not forgotten about them. And so you're kind of stuck in that energy of still thinking about them a lot. Next to the Four of Pentacles is the Queen of Swords. This can be Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. This is air energy. So Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius might be strong in your chart or in someone else's chart around this reading. But this is right above the Five of Swords. And here's the Queen. They're all male or female, by the way. But the Queen here has her hand out, and she's asking for truth and for clarity. She has her sword up, swords of truth and clarity, has her hand out, and it's like you want to have a conversation with this person that's no longer in your life. Perhaps you do reach out to this person who hasn't been in your life because you still have questions. It may have been a long time, it may have been a short time ago. But you're facing the Hierophant. Now, the Hierophant is the card for Taurus. Taurus might be strong in your chart, might be strong in somebody else's chart around this reading. But the energy, this is like being grounded, stable, secure. This is traditional values, traditional morals. It can also represent marriage. So maybe you were in a committed relationship with someone who just ghosted you, or just kind of turn their back on the relationship. I feel like you reach out to them and you want to know what happened. I have the Fool under the Four of Pentacles and next to the Five of Swords. Well, the Fool, this is about living in the moment, okay? This is carefree, throwing caution to the wind. It's a very joyful card. But what happens with the Fool is someone always ends up taking their head out of the clouds. See how the Fool is looking up in the clouds, dancing along like nothing. There's no cares in the world. Eventually, someone usually ends up looking forward towards commitment, which the Queen of Swords has actually got her hand out towards the Hierophant. So I feel like it was you, because the Queen of Swords is in your highest energy here. So under being stuck, I feel as if your relationship was more of a, I don't think anybody in this relationship really worried about what was going to come next until you started worrying about what's going to come next. And then when you did, it just seems like they walked away. I don't think they were ready for commitment. And I think they knew, for whatever reasons, maybe you were totally truthful with them, about about moving forward, wanting to take the next step forward, and they didn't want to, and I think they walked away. They turned their back. So I have on the other side this Five of Swords, and under the Hierophant, there's that Ace of Pentacles. This is an offer. So this is commitment, security, stability, groundedness. It can mean money, in a money reading, but this is about love. So let's find out, and it's under the Hierophant. So I know it has to do with this security and stability, and plus your highest energy is, you got Pentacles weighing you down, and you can't take your mind off the one that got away, okay? So under the Fool card is the Judgment card. This is why you've had to go through this. It's all been a spiritual lesson brought to you by your guardian angels and spirit guides, blowing their horn down on you, but you're getting it. You're awakening. You're getting your truth and your clarity about what happened in this relationship. And that's probably why you do want to reach out to them. I really feel like you really want to talk to them. And so here are all these figures awakening, like, I hear you, I get it, I get it. Right under the Fool energy. So that's part of the lesson is, throwing caution to the wind, like jumping into a relationship, head first. And not, throwing caution to the wind and all that. So I think that's part of your spiritual lesson, how that usually does not work out. And if you want a solid and secure relationship, this is not the energy to start a relationship in right here. So next to the Judgment card, I have the Queen of Cups. This is water, Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer that might be strong in your chart, their chart, or around this reading. So the Queen of Cups here, and here you are looking back at the one that got away here, but you have questions about the love. You have questions about a lot of love questions, whether, why didn't you see it coming, or how did you have it wrong? How did you think that they loved you, or whatever the question, it doesn't matter. This cup is full of answers. And so what the Queen is trying to do is peek in those windows, only cup in the deck with a lid on it, to get the answers. So this just tells me you're up in your head, you're up in your mind about this one that got away. You're still questioning the love. And, you really do want to reach out, and I bet you end up doing that. I have the Page of Pentacles under the Ace of Pentacles and next to the Queen of Cups. This is trying to, you're really thinking about, this is part of the Queen of Cups, part of your questions is about the Pentacle, the security, the stability. And I have a feeling you wanted to move further in this relationship and they didn't, so they disappeared on you. They took off or whatever, ghosted even maybe. But you're still examining that Pentacle. You're still wondering if there's hope for this relationship, that maybe they have changed. Maybe they are ready for a relationship. You're trying to see your future. And matter of fact, I don't think you've been able to move forward because of this, whatever went down here, because you haven't stopped looking back and you're weighed down by those pentacles. So I feel like you really need some answers here in order to move on. And I don't know. I'm just kind of wondering why we're talking about this. So let's take out the second part of the reading and let's find out more about this situation. So far, if this is sounding like you're reading, Aries, it probably is. If it does not sound like you're reading, it probably is not. And I would check your moon sign, which is your private and emotional side. Or get a private reading from someone you trust. Okay, here we go. Second half. Look at those pentacles. I know it has a lot to do with it. Oh my gosh, you've had to do a lot of healing. Look at this. This is unreal. Unreal. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, maybe I can answer a couple questions for you. Up here in your highest energy is the Ten of Pentacles, right next to the Hierophant. This Ten of Pentacles might as well be the Hierophant, but it also includes extended family, pets, there's a child. This is union between two people with security, stability, groundedness, and commitment. That's a beautiful card. That's one of the best cards in the tarot deck. So I think that you really did want to solidify this relationship, and I think they took off. I don't think they were ready. And I think that you had to go into this place of healing, and you're probably still in it because you're still stuck over here. Um, well, you're going to be finishing this healing. I can see that. Okay, that's coming up here. But you've been deep in healing. This is like seeing your own reflection come back at you and healing right to your bare bones, remembering the essence of who you are, what you want from life, what you don't want from life. It's very spiritual. You have healed deep. This was really difficult for you. And all this looking back, it's still difficult. That's, I think, why you want to reach out. You need closure, or I don't know. I think something else is happening here. You need closure, though. You need to be able to get rid of those pentacles that are weighing you down so you can move forward, because you're not going anywhere here in this first part of the reading. Well, here's an actionable card. The Knight of Swords rushing right towards the star. It's like sword up. That sort of truth and clarity, but this is taking action. And I think you've had it with all this healing. I think you've had it and you're getting ready to move on. But you have questions still to this day. So you're rushing right towards the star. And I don't know, did I tell you this is the card for Aquarius? So Aquarius might be strong in your chart or someone else's chart around this reading. So the Queen of Swords and the Star card give us 2 for Aquarius so far. So you're rushing right towards that healing card, and it's like, no, you're done. You're finished. I think you're getting ready to move forward. I have the 6 of Wands right under the 10 of Pentacles and next to the Ace of Pentacles. Well, this is a card like everybody saw you as a couple. I think you saw yourself as a couple. You felt like you were a couple. This is a card of engagement. It can be. But all those wands coming up in the background are people celebrating your success in love. Now, that might be coming in because it's right next to the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles is Earth. That would be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. That might be strong in your chart. And so it gives us 2 for Taurus. Or someone else's chart in this reading. But look, the King of Pentacles, the energy, looking at a pentacle. I'm starting to feel like they really are looking and thinking about a pentacle here. I think they might have Earth in their chart someplace. If not, the energy is really, looking at that pentacle now. It's next to the 9 of Pentacles, which it can also be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. The 9 of Pentacles, this is about someone who is self-confident, self-secure, they're grounded, they're stable, in just being themselves, in being single. I think this is the energy of whoever it was that you were looking back at. But it feels to me, okay, that they're starting to pay attention to their pentacles. They're starting to pay attention and wonder if they want to offer a pentacle now. It's like they're growing up, or they're maturing to this place of wanting to share their life with someone. And then over here, you're reaching out to them. Let me keep reading. So right next to this Page of Pentacles, I have the 5 of Pentacles. And it's right under the 6 of Wands. Success and love. Wondering about your future. Is there somebody out there with a pentacle for you, that you can be stable and secure with? And, This 5 of Pentacles, it's a black card. It's like feeling abandoned or feeling left alone. Maybe ghosted, like I said, in this 5 of Swords. And you can come in out of the cold in the tarot decks. These churches, see, that's a church window. And church doors used to be open for hours. So, you can come in out of the cold, but it takes a lot of healing for you. And I think you've been through a lot of healing. So I think what happens I'm not telling you to contact this person, but it looks like you are going to. You've probably been thinking about it. Like I say, if it feels and sounds like you're reading, it probably is. But it seems to me that you find out that they're different. They are more mature than they were. They're very grounded. They're very secure. And I have the Knight of Cups here. maybe you want to offer the cup, but it feels to me this is under the King of Pentacles that they ask you, like, just because you call or contact them, they want to get together with you somehow. Go for a walk, meet for a cup of coffee, something. And that's what this Knight of Pentacles is about. And this is sincere. I mean, and this Knight of Cups is right next to the Knight of Wands, right under the being single card. That, see, this is why they ran away. They were good at running away back then. They were living in the energy of the Fool. So the Knight of Wands, they run in and out of your life. They're not grounded whatsoever. Okay, they run in with the Staff of New Beginnings. They run out with the Staff of Passion. And as long as you let them do that, they will do that. So it feels like you wanted a grounded relationship with someone who was incapable at the time. But now it feels like they very well could be capable. I don't know if it'll happen with you, but I do think that they are going to want to meet up with you once you start a conversation with them. Wow, this is crazy. So I'm going to take out one more card for this reading. Aries, bottom of the deck. Oh, see? That Knight of Wands. You know, and I did kind of want to mention two people walking away here. I think they left. There was somebody else in their life. Three of Swords. That's why they could never commit. That's why they ran off. That's why they were never grounded and running in and out of your life. Because they weren't mature enough. And now it feels like they're settling. They're settling down. They're taking a more mature look at their life and their lifestyle. This Three of Swords lands right on that Hierophant, right on the Ten of Pentacles. That's why it never came to fruition for you, okay? And that's, probably if they tell you the truth, which Swords of Truth and Clarity, I think that they might say, well, look, I wasn't ready. I wanted to date other people. And that's basically what it was all about. But now, once you contact them, it looks like you're going to find out that they're maturing. And I think they're going to want to see you again. And take it from there. So, wow, Aries, this is your reading. Thank you for watching Universal Guidance Tarot.